Okay. So first and foremost, I need to give thanks to my creator, the higher power that allowed me to be here today. Different people call this higher power different names, and we should all respect that. I call it God, and I need to acknowledge all the blessings along my journey that brought me to where I am today. So thank you, Lord. I am so honored to be here today as your 2022 INA Nanny of the Year. It's been a wonderful journey to be part of this community, to learn, grow, and advocate for our profession for nearly 2 decades. Thank you, Anne and Devin, who believed in my awesomeness and deserving of being nominated. Thank you to the Noti judging panel. I could not imagine having that position. And thank you to the INA Board of Directors and the OFSI team. I know firsthand how much time and dedication to this you guys give to this organization and how hard you work. And of course, congratulations to my fellow nominees. Be sure that your sparkle have not gone unnoticed. I was only 9 years old when I told Dad that I wanted to come to the US. I spent my 10 years saving money and talking about how I was going to live in America one day. As you can imagine, I was mocked and quite hurt by my own friends who at some point would say, Thaty, enough of that. No, nobody wants to hear that anymore. And it was on April 4th, 2003, 19 years ago, almost to the date, that I landed in American soil. It was my first biggest dream to ever be realized, and little did I know about the journey ahead. I came to the US as an au pair with the promise of being a big sister. And a big sister I was. The first child that entered my heart would proudly introduce me to the bus driver. Hi, my name is Skylar, and this is my sister Thaty. She's from Brazil. We rode the bus almost every day, and every MBTA driver got to know us. I fell in love with caring for her. My host mom taught me almost everything there was to know about caring for young children. I learned about positive discipline and Montessori way before fully comprehending how valuable they would be in my career. Some may not acknowledge upper work to be professional work, but I can tell you with confidence, it was the foundation of my entire nanny career. For the first 10 years in childcare, I didn't realize one could choose to be a career path. I loved it, and I thought I was crazy for wanting to leave the classroom to be a nanny. And then casually browsing the Boston Parent newspaper one day, I read this blurb about Nanny Palooza. It was happening on September 19, 2010, and that, my friends, was the day where everything changed. That was when I first met my nanny community. I met Janice Sinclair, who handed me her card for the bank's newsletter and became my very first nanny idol. And today, I feel so privileged to call her friend. Her demeanor, compassion, dedication, and wise words were always there for the nannies in need. I truly miss reading her sound advice in the nanny groups today. It was through her newsletter that I learned there was a whole nanny world to be explored, and I was so excited. I dove headfirst into all things nanny, and the first thing I did was to become a member of the INA. I still remember receiving my welcome package with my membership certificate, my recommended practices for nannies, and a handwritten notice by Alice Schaefer. I felt welcomed by this community, and oh my gosh, I felt so professional. My world had just been opened, but it seemed the outside world hadn't. I felt like a professional as in any other profession, but it didn't take long to realize that outside our nanny world, people didn't see us as professionals. I was dismissed by college professors, friends, and even my own family. It was confusing to see how my mom, who had been a nanny of twins herself, didn't get my enthusiasm. It took me some deep digging to remember that while we still fight to gain respect and recognition for our work here in the United States, I come from a country where this work is way more exploited and seen as less than. My mom was a nanny of twins when she was just 10 years of age. She was a child. And I know, and we know that her 8 years of real experience by the time she turned 18 would never be counted as professional experience over here. But where I come from, we start work real early. I started work in 11, and my father at 8. Dad worked in the field, cutting sugar cane when he was just 8 years old. I cannot imagine an 8-year-old holding a machete. This made me realize one important thing. My parents didn't have a choice, and I did. I am so grateful I have worked for amazing employers who have treated me fairly, valued my expertise, and supported my growth. I am even more grateful to have most of them in my life decades later. With the family's validation and support, I started preaching about nannies as educators, letting others know that the work we do is of a private teacher. Then I learned that worse than not being seen as a professional was the fact that nannies and other domestic workers were purposefully excluded from labor laws in the United States. And to this day, 40 states still fail to provide basic rights, protections, and standards for nannies and other domestic workers. In 2012, I became more active with the Massachusetts Alliance of Professional Nannies, and that was the start of my advocacy journey. MAPN was a part of the coalition that introduced and passed the Domestic Workers Bill of Rights in Massachusetts. And there I was, working 90 hours a week on average, going to graduate school full-time, and somehow still finding time to volunteer and fight for things I cared about. Side note, I do not recommend working 90 hours a week while doing all of that stuff. The negative impact of the pandemic once again made it clear for more work protection, access to benefits, and a safety net for nannies and all other domestic workers. It showed how essential and invaluable we are, and at the same time, it left hundreds of thousands of our colleagues without jobs at a moment's notice. According to a recent survey, nearly 8 in 10 domestic workers experience food insecurity, and a majority are unable to pay their monthly rent or mortgage. Those of us who didn't lose our jobs can still face these challenges, and we were now risking our health and of our lives and of those we love as we continue to provide care so the economy wouldn't crash. We navigated these challenges with lots of love, smiles on our faces, and lots of deep breaths when our toddlers were screaming and mom was an important business call next door. And I feel we all deserve an award for our resilience and grace through this pandemic. As for this Nanny of the Year award, I wanted to know that it means more than validation and recognition for all the years I've poured my heart into this community. I see it as an opportunity to shine light on millions of domestic workers around the US who are mostly immigrant women of color and who do a spectacular job, but may never get any validation for their hard work and dedication. I want this award to be a catalyst in mobilizing my Latin American community about the importance and validity of our work, which is a noble profession like all others. I want to see a cultural shift wherever we go and whenever we have the opportunity to talk about what we do. I'm not a fan of collecting awards just for the sake of collecting them. Each and any public recognition is an opportunity to educate people about our work and make a little bit of a difference in this big world. It is a responsibility to share our gifts and direct the spotlight to causes we believe in and are passionate about. And that is why I want to share this award with you as an invitation to talk about the professional and important work we do whenever the opportunity is presented, and to intentionally create these opportunities because we have nearly 8 billion people that we still need to educate. Thank you.